Here we are. D&D&Tea. I don't have tea today. I have water only. So bear with me. But yeah, we have amazing D here, and especially we have the Lorekeeper Emily for the first time talking about this campaign. So you know a lot about what's going to happen in the future, right?
I do. I know pretty much everything, and have had input on quite a lot as well.
And
Jealous.
I mean, if you know, then why are we playing the campaign for? Isn't it?
True. True. That
So,
makes sense.
But
Less jealous.
A lot of has happened, and we're gonna do a little bit of quick recap today, reminding everything what has happened, and give this video would be like the codex for people who want to catch up on the stream, on the sessions, and if you really gonna wanna go into details, you can go and check out this freaking link in the chat right now, JDND bit.ly JDND recap, where you can go and check out our second campaign's timeline, which is happening in the same continent that we played our first campaign, Soul Cradle, and 20 years after the first campaign. A lot of reminiscence of the first campaign is around. D has definitely felt the aftershocks of that in many ways. So let's start with something that actually happened before we did this campaign. Would you like to talk about it, D? Because that was one thing we did, you know, offline, just us, me, you, and your brother Sassy.
What do you mean?
You know the prequel session we had?
Yes. Yeah.
That session I'm talking about, the prologue.
Oh, so you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, you if you want to tell everybody what exactly was that.
Well, that was our first session, and Jay had set it up that we were going to a not birthday
Yes.
for one of a set of kids, or one of the kids. The details get fuzzy as the days get further away.
Feywild is like that.
Right, yeah.
I remember something happened.
Yes.
I can't remember what happened.
And then there was some games that we played, but then the gist of it was that we felt a shift in the magic and raced and found a dead unicorn whose heart had been stolen.
Yeah.
And then we chased after who we perceived to be the person who took it, found a group of people, battled with them via an intense game of chess. You can tell who our DM is, and if our DM is a nerd, which he is. And I am not a nerd. I just bashed my way through a chess game. But then,
I remind you sacrificed something in that.
Oh yeah, I sacrificed Sassy. I totally was like, yeah.
Instead of
so
being Ron Weasley, she just was Hermione Granger pushing Ron Weasley ahead. Go die.
Exactly. We'll get you after.
I mean, I hope not. Your brother and sister, don't they end up getting married and have kids?
Oh God, sorry. Yes, you're right. But I'd say in that plot point before, when they were young and innocent with no...
Before puberty hit.
Yeah.
So
long ago that it was 2 weeks ago.
Right. Talked the guy out of it, and then they explained to us that they had seen someone else, or they'd seen somebody.
They were actually darklings. And the thing was that they were hunting the same entity that you were hunting.
But it got away from both of us, and then I ended up chasing them, thinking that they were the darkling, or thinking that they were the thing that stole it. Anyways, so we go back and then we get portaled to the earthly realm, which is where we had a hint that the other material plane, sorry, where there was a hint from the Darklings or Underdarkling guys that that's where our foe might have gone. Yeah. I won a Silver Panther statue.
She was.
Don't worry.
In the not birthday party of Dingley's Soggy Water. That was the name of the
What?
of the node
I love it.
that they were attending the not birthday party of.
And I call him Dingle Wet Butt.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Right.
All right. So after that, you were sent to a portal, and you jumped out of a portal to meet Magistrate, and you found out that you were in a city called Smoothvale.
Correct.
And Emily, I think you remember what exactly I told you about this whole situation, where I told you that there were like 3 different like preparations I have done, if you remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One was if they stay in Smoothvale, they run away from Smoothvale, and if they run away to Smoothvale, then which way they will go. So
yep, I remember that now. Mm-hmm.
What were your expectations back then?
Well, again, I'd not met the new characters. I'd obviously been told, like, this the backstory of these characters, but again, you never really know a character until you see them played. But I did kind of expect them to, again, very low level at that point. I didn't expect them to stick around. So yeah, I did expect them to get gone.
And they did. You guys jumped on a ship after a long chase, and that's where you met Ulukano.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ulukano.
Ulukano is a very, very interesting character in Novella's history. And if you guys don't know, Novella was the character that Emily played in the first campaign. Who was also related to Dee's character. Yeah, Dee's character's mother. So when I told you about Ulukano and the relationship that he's gonna have to Oakwell family, let's talk about that.
Okay, yeah, this was one that I had no idea was gonna happen. It was Jay just generally came to me and he's like, I have this fantastic idea and I want your opinion on it. And I was like, yeah, go, let's go for it. It's like, yeah, do you remember Nuala? I was like, yeah. And it's like, remember that, like, Nuala is obviously from this quite hearty-totty wood elf family. What about if, let's say, there was another wood elf that was there that basically fell in love with her, and, you know, what do you think her reaction to it would be? And it was like, well, she would be the adventuring sort. I can't imagine that she'd be too happy with it. Would remain friends kind of platonically, but, you know, is obviously go about. She never wanted to stay in Elven society, realistically. It just wasn't for her. And kind of like, it was almost a sigh of relief when she met Boris, Trudy's dad. Obviously fell in love with him, and it was like, you know what? Do I have any actual reason to go back to these people? And the answer was no. So she just never did. So it was a case of, and again, the character, this elf, came out to be Ulukano. And then so it was like, yeah, so he's like, so what, you just basically like leave him pining and heartbroken? I'm like, yep. Basically. So, and I found that quite funny. I was like, yeah, I can deal with that.
And all of
it... no, I like the idea.
And all of it happened because of the whole improv background story that you came up with in the finale of the first campaign for Niala.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie, that kind of it were all kind of happened in my head instantly. Which sometimes just happens when I'm at least creating a character. I've never really played one that has been pre-created for me. And I'm not gonna lie, the whole reason that it even came about is because I just basically wanted Trudy to feel really, really bad about the fact that she'd messaged home and was like ruining her mother's life. And was like, you know, actually, she's gone through a lot, don't fuck with this. And it was gonna be kind of like she was gonna come up and be like, the hell? And then kind of I thought about it for a bit and I was like, no, if anything, she loves Trudy to absolute pieces. Trudy's her absolute world, and she'd do anything for her, and that's where the whole backstory of she is from this area. Trudy is a half-elf, which, again, in all D&D lore, especially with elves of, like, any prestige, they don't like half-elves. So that's where I came up with this idea of Noella being this extremely motherly person that is protecting her daughter from what she basically had to go through and didn't want that for her.
Yeah, I mean, they don't exactly have like kind of a half-elf distaste or a disgust, but yeah, they do have a thing like half-elf has their own society or we have their own society kind of a thing.
Yeah. So I think they call them half-souls. I think I've read that somewhere where they... Because obviously, when you're a half-elf, you don't reincarnate. You lose that. So they often get called half-souls because they are only basically half an elf and won't reincarnate again. So, it's all very interesting.
Paula, thanks a lot for the subscription. 2
Hey, Paula.
freaking years. God damn.
Damn.
Wow. Happy 2-year anniversary.
She's amazing, isn't she?
Oh,
She is.
Is she ever? Polar is. Polar is the best. She said, hey, M first. You know she loves you more.
Oh, well, you know, I can't help that.
D will make a freaking riot of anything.
I just like attention, and I like to be the center of it.
Also talking about fucking up with characters. Now you are doing it. You have full reign in this campaign that you have your own character.
Oh, yes.
And the best thing is that you dropped a bombshell at the end of the campaign, like last session, and still nobody has figured out what does that mean.
Well, again, it was a case of Jay was like, by the way, because initially we were going to keep, obviously, who my character actually was quiet a lot longer, but obviously with the fact that I can't get here as often and with certain things that have happened recently, he was like, no, I think, you know, it's up to you if your character would do it, but now might be the time to drop, you know, your actual name.
Yeah, you played with a lot. You bit more than two in the last session with your character choices, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I purposely did it, I suppose. I wanted to have a bit of fun with it, and it worked for a while. But again, it was either going to be, and we discussed it was either going to be in this session or the next session should I join, because again, you can't keep it up because you're going to realise it was going to be a case of you were going to realise that all of these characters that have been played were the same person, but just putting on different personalities, different voices, different looks.
Different voice doesn't work.
Oh, the voice was so hard. I was like, because I've got quite a strong accent anyway, if I ever try and do any kind of accents, it's just... So, yeah, I tried. We'll stick with Yorkshire. Although, And again, this is another thing that we were saying after session yesterday, is Dee actually picked up on something that I kind of thought I quickly brushed over, and it was my fuck up. And that is, Falmer was initially supposed to have an Irish accent. And I forgot Falmer had the Irish accent and went into the accent that I basically had backed up for Salarenis themselves, like as themselves. And it was like, well, started now, got to go with it. But yeah, when I first joined, I had the Irish accent. And then Dee was like, yeah, when you first joined, I thought you sounded Irish. And I'm like, funny that. So yeah, it was, I'd like to say all by design, but it wasn't.
Dee, what happened after you met Ulukana? Let's talk about that in the campaign.
After Prim met Ulukano, her priorities became divided, if that makes sense. Primrose has always been, she's always been a good kid. She's studious, she works hard, she trains with the dragons with her uncle, she works in trains the guard. She's kind of tomboy, but always enjoyed being a little bit femme when she needed to. And so since she's come into the realm, having somebody fawn over her like that is so new to her that it just really shook her. And she's like, I didn't really know what it felt like to be special, because at home she's just another Eladrin, whatever, but she's not special. But here it's oh wow, racist fetishism.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, when I introduced Ulukano, my idea was that I'll create this bratty, assholey noble that will go on and hit it and quit it kind of a thing. Maybe will be an on-off affair in the entirety of the campaign, till you guys stay in Uishan cities. But the chemistry was so freaking strong between these two characters.
Right?
I just before that bratty assholey part became prominent and became the character trait that you can relate to him, I just flipped it around. I made him this good thing, and then I was like, how can I make him important in the campaign? Noella. That's when it happened.
So, I like it.
Yeah, basically, I told you, hey, so I have introduced this noble guy, and now he's gonna be Noella's boyfriend.
He was also super grounding. It was super grounding for Prim to have Ulukano so quickly in the campaign, because I think she could have been a lot more flighty and chaotic. She still was, but it's that flighty chaoticness and impulsive decision making had consequences because there was a contrast in Ulukano. So I thought it was cool.
After that, you guys just fought a lot of fish people on the boat in the carnival. You won the carnival race, and then you
Prim looked good.
Yeah, and
I remember her.
Then through Ulukano, you met the captain of the guards in the camp in West Bay. Kraken just messaged me. You! I see what you did. He just got. I think he got that. Got what I was hinting at. And that was your first 2 days in the campaign. And then, while you guys were looking into the matter of where these fish people were coming on, Sassy went on and did the Mrs. Robinson on us.
Sweet Mrs.
Went on for the pretense of tuition and just straight up banged a MILF.
Oh yes, I remember.
Oh, that's a typical bard.
And the very same day, then he met Yashika.
I know.
And he went on another date the next day with her, didn't he?
Yeah. And in between, you also.
Sassy a player.
Sassy was a player. And then, and we also had a little bit. Then you also met Yalma. Did a little bit of Moodbounder hunting. which turned out to be moor bonding, and um, we returned back, and while you were investigating this thing, you also attended the ball at Vulcano's place. So, what was the whole thing was looking like at that moment?
At Ulukano's place, the date?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the ball.
Oh, the ball, sorry. I think as a player, it was exciting for Prim because she was getting to go and do like the fancy thing. But also there was so many means of networking and scoping out that could be done. I'd never done a ball scene really before. So it was cool to see all the effort that went into it as a DM, because you had to populate the ball with other characters, right?
Yeah.
And so the amount of times since that ball that you've told me, yeah, you met this guy at the ball. And I'm just like, holy shit, I can't remember. Like, I can't remember all the people I met. But huge effort, great turnout. I think it was a really fun episode to do.
And after that, the ball ended at a bang as well. Found out about the MILF that Sassy Pang, their daughter got kidnapped.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I told Emily about all those plans, and then I told her the character that I was introducing because of that.
Yes.
So,
Oldball?
Yes, let's talk about Dr. Oldball. What was that about, Emily? Because I think if Salrenus has met Oldball, then I think we would have very different romance.
I don't know about that. Didn't realize he was a cannibal. But like the way that he was described was like this kind of mastermind that had been like captured, and he's like a dark elf, and like, you know, he's really smart and he seems to have all the answers. And I was just like, dude, not gonna lie, like, he sounds hot. And then Jay dropped. It's a case of, oh yeah, by the way, I base him off Hannibal Lecter. And I was like, what?
Still hot. Still
And
hot.
I'm like, yeah. No, he's eaten children. I was like, okay, maybe less hot. But yeah, no,
he never ate children. He never ate
he
children.
might as
The
well
children-
have done.
the-
He's still cannibalistic.
Yeah. The children was whole nail fairy thing.
Yes. Either way, he still ate people. But yeah, no, it was just the idea of having this extremely intelligent person that it can, you know, wrap people around their finger and manipulate really well. Just it sounded like a really, really fun, really nice character to have. So yeah, no, I mean, the fact he was an elf is always, I always like elves. So yeah,
Now
you know, you dropped my world when you turned him into a cannibal.
I think then I can ask Prem about this, like how much of that translated into the game, the thing that, you know, Emily just described about Hold the Ball.
Oh, I think yeah, no, it translated throughout it. Like I picked up right away. I knew right away what was happening. I could see it, and I'm like, oh, okay, the echo is very prominent there. And so it was really fascinating to see how you could change it and apply it. But that the character was still unique, you know, like he still had his own flavor to it. Yeah, I think it translated totally.
Would I be right to say that Prem and Magistrate were very concerned about him?
Yes. Yeah. Like, I think that was like,
yes.
Well, that was like the start of a serious rift between like Prim and Rin. Like I don't think I can trust your judgment because your judgment is flawed. You know, like I can no longer just blindly follow you because I don't think you're And so Prim was pissed. She walked off. Was like, yeah, you go get eaten by your cannibal man. She's impulsive like that.
I will ask this. I'm sure Prim's answer would be no to see Older Ball again. What's D's answer? To see Older Ball show up again in the campaign.
Oh my god. Like, of course he'd show up. Like, if he's a dark elf drow, like, he's probably best friends with Lilith and, like, is gonna head down to the uprising and grab a cold one, you know? Like, I absolutely could see him coming again. But I wouldn't want to be his enemy. You know, like he was helping us this time.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to have that brain turned against us.
Never trust the drow. The drow are always bad.
After that,
rumor has it.
Yeah. After that, you guys went to Methanor, the village that Yalmar belongs to. You spoke with dead people, found a lot of shit that Older Ball pointed you towards, that helped you to find out this thing, and then you ended up in a cornfield in front of a bugbear family's house, and then while fighting some more fish people, you not only met the BBEG for that chapter, but also met Falmo. So,
wow. I can't believe there was a time where Falmo wasn't in our group.
Yeah, I mean, Falmo showed up like 5 days later.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 5 days later. So that would be like 8th, 9th session?
Oh, wow. Okay. Love it.
Didn't realize it was that.
So what, I mean, we had this whole thing prepared to fuck up with the party with a lot of stuff, and we cannot deliver a lot of stuff right now. But what were your thought process to how to get into their minds, like individually? Tell me, like, how you targeted
what into like the mind of my character or the mind of their characters?
Your character, and then how to get in their minds, how to fuck with them.
I mean, it's hard to there's a lot I can't say in regards to Salrenis. One of the main things, especially when creating the character, was we knew that, again, it was going to be a character that is going to be very in and out of the party's life, because they have to be, because I'm very in and out of the campaign. So we had to kind of come up with ideas around that, which we did. But yeah, no, there's a lot going on inside of their head that I can't get. And helps a lot with my thought process of how they act and react to things. In regards to, obviously, the other members of the party, not gonna lie, you kind of made it all a lot easier to get into their heads, and into your heads. Again, can't go into too much, but the name Salrenis knows certain things, which the party don't. And when Salrenis initially met the party, Salrenis wasn't quite sure what the party knew and what the party didn't. So it was a lot of confusion, and yeah. I don't want to say too much.
It kind of helped as well that you spread that confusion along with everybody as well.
To everybody, yeah. I knew I was coming in with the character that was going to be extremely cryptic, that wasn't going to talk straight because they couldn't talk straight. And and was just going to go in, cause as much ruckus as possible, and then leave again without basically answering anything.
I knew it. Fuck Falmo. You're just a chaos.
No, that was an Emily thing. That wasn't a Falmo thing. Falmo had a lot going through their head when they were Falmo in things that they were trying to sort out and do. Which again I can't go too much into. But yes. The answer is I'm being kept to secrecy, so I can't go too deep into it.
But yeah, that fight actually helped you guys to see the aboleth for the first time, and also helped you to find out the cure for the plague that was plaguing the place, the village.
Plaguing?
Yeah, I mean, was cursing the place. Let's go with that. And then there was the other day, you guys decided to go and fight without telling Yashika. I mean, Sassy did tell Yashika, but not exactly when they were leaving, and neither you told Lucano when you guys are leaving. Oops.
I thought he knew.
And then from there, how was fighting the first PvZ of the campaign? And this is a question for both of you, because you both were there.
It's probably the most beautiful map we've had to date, I think. I loved it.
Absolutely. Gorgeous.
The cavern one, right? It was just gorgeous. It was long battle, but it felt engaging, and each of the guys felt unique. It felt cool to be able to be powerful, but also have risk,
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to waste everything before you fight.
True. A lot of cannon fodder in your way to get there.
Yeah, definitely. And a carousel ride, or a what was it called?
Oh yeah, you guys went down the trolley. You sat down in trolley, and then
the trolley, yeah.
And we short rested down the trolley.
Yeah, for a whole hour you were just floating downwards and downwards and downwards with the current, and then you reached there. You managed to defeat it, even though Rin went down. But then something happened. Visions.
Oh yes.
So how much that affected everybody?
I think it was one of the first times that Deanna felt Prim's storyline clearly tied in. Like a connection to the thing, which was a connection to the thing that like Falmo had said. And it was like, oh, okay, I can kind of see something developing, something growing there, and like hints of it. Because I feel like I've been playing and like keeping my eye out for those glimmers of Prim's storyline, and so to finally get a full mouthful was really refreshing and exciting. Like just re-engaging.
I was just throwing a popcorn towards your face, but this time
exactly.
I'm like, here you go, there you go. I'm
You're like,
a full bite.
This is your story. I'm like, thank you.
Take it now.
Exactly. But yeah.
And then finally, while that was happening, also Falmo left, but you knew what the visions were coming on, and what
I did, yeah.
What was your idea? How would they react?
Oh, well, again, the thing is, with the visions themselves were cryptic. So, again, I just imagine that it'd be a case of they'd get these visions, and then it'd just be like, right, we need to, like, theorize with what the fuck is going on, especially with having Falmo just come in, being like, we need to kill the Aboleth, and Falmo being this yeah, I know what the aboleth is. We're off to go do this. We're off to kill it. And then Bam was like, haha, cryptic gone. To then get these visions that are also cryptic, I was really excited to basically see what theories came out of it and like where the minds would go. I'm always really interested in what people think are happening, especially when I know what's happening. So to have people be like, well, I think it's like X, Y, and Z, you know, and I think it could be this, and I think this and this, because I'm a massive, I love theories. Like in the games that I play, I'm continuously theorizing of like, you know, X, Y, and Z.
That was the point where JJ also put his like strapped
the
his
tinfoil
hat like completely, and he
because
started throwing.
Honestly, some of JJ's theories are insanely fun. I really like his theories that he's coming up with. But yeah, so that's what I was kind of like, again, on and off table, seeing what gets said on table with what they think is going on, and then what the actual players are there thinking.
What was Dee's theory?
What I wanted.
After the visions?
After the
visions? Battle.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. Like, I think I was still just stepping back and not totally... I didn't know how it was going to tie in. Because I hadn't... for some reason, I had in my brain that there was going to be some sort of... like, witch goblin that was stealing hearts. And I was like, we need to find this witch goblin. And then all of a sudden, there was... drows, and I'm like, I don't get it. And so I was trying really hard to get it, but I couldn't get it. And then you gave me more, and now like you've fed me more, so I understand more. But I think I was just enjoying having new things to chomp on, but I was more just trying to figure out what it was supposed to mean, but I hadn't quite figured that out yet.
It's like eating that ice cream, you don't know what flavor it is, but you're enjoying it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that
totally.
I'll take it as a compliment.
Oh yeah, and like it was great to see. I feel like it was more character backstory fleshing out opportunities. It was opportunities for us to discuss things with each other more. It was an opportunity for us to like bond as a group through shared trauma and stuff like that in an organic like storytelling kind of way. Outside of just like, so I think as Primrose, getting that vision was like shocking, and everybody got a vision, and it was like it just felt more, it made everything more real, and like the good things have been great, but now there's like this other side to it where it's like, oh wait, there's also, this place is scary, and there's darkness and bad things too. So yeah.
One thing you did mention, I think then my goal was accomplished, that to give you guys a bait to talk to each other, become a freaking alcohol anonymous group where you share trauma and stuff. But that didn't pan out. What exactly do you think was the problem that didn't pan out?
I think that people didn't take what was communicated in narration and use it in RP. I think it was just like a degree of assumption that narration was all known, and so there was no need to RP it. But then realizing that, oh, actually, you have to RP. It's like a court case. You have to make an argument. You have to bring the evidence in. You have to have context for it, and then it can be considered by the audience. Like, yeah. So even though you've narrated that, like, I see this vision of my family dying and stuff, it's up to Primrose to turn to Sassy and be like, I just had this terrible trauma of whatever, because Sassy doesn't know that what Primrose dreamt about. So I think that's where it fell apart, is we didn't really have cohesion in RP. I think, yeah.
But I did mention that you all witness each other's vision. I think that part wasn't clear to you guys.
Yeah, no, I think that was lost to me, or it became like
Kind of too much information.
Yeah, like didn't know what to do with it. Yeah, I think maybe if it had happened one at a time, we could have like focused on each other, because it became about whoever was talking the most about it, I guess, or yeah,
point taken. I'll keep that in mind next time.
Yeah, like really, that might legit just be why.
All right. So after that, you guys got off. Prim found a way out of that little water grave that you had planted yourself in. You made your way up to the surface finally and found out that you are actually in the middle of the ocean and were picked up by a pirate ship.
Our best friends.
Captain Agaman.
Hey, do you guys know my boyfriend?
Luckily, that pirate ship knew Ulukano, and after spending a day over there, where a little bit trauma sharing happened, but then I think that didn't branch out ever. You did make your way back, and then as you were about to have dinner and split the spoils of everything that you got in Abelis's sanctum, you met two new strangers, Ronnie and Hyde. So,
were they the birds?
Ronnie and Hyde, Hasrash, the debt collectors.
Okay, I thought we met them when we came to the city.
Yeah, I was talking about when you were at like split the spoils in the city at Ulukano's place.
Oh,
yeah,
you're right. Yep, all of the above.
All of the above. But yeah, to that point, the chapter was ending. You still had to catch Nail Fairy, and me and M were planning out what to do with you guys next. I think I didn't want to railroad that part, but it kind of happened that your absence made it very much feasible that they are going to go after Bilberry, and a lot of shit happened behind you as well. The party had a little bit of infights. Sassy's birthday was devastatingly a disaster, and chaos, and but how a lot of things also happened that it kind of bonded you and Ulukano in between as well before you left, and the way you left him. So you want to talk about that particular part? And also, I'm coming back to you, Emily, because we are going to talk about your favorite god now in D&D.
Which one?
So yeah.
Yeah. So wrapping up the second arc was it was really this. Okay, full sentences. This campaign felt really organic, and it felt really cool to be actually like picking up the storyline through plot that we've RP'd and we've developed and that's going through, instead of having it being like railroaded and obvious and like a come here, choose this and then go do this. And so I like at some points I wasn't even sure that we were going to find the Nail Fairy. Like it's like at some points like I was even so engaged with Prim like that Prim's hopelessness was like my hopelessness, because I was like, well, we don't have enough information. How do we know? And then I'm like, okay, so also step back and realize it's a D&D game and you just need to do more things and ask more questions and find more information. So it was really cool to be able to figure it out and get to the end of it. Like Prim had called out the moon fairy or the moon pool.
Moon pool, yeah.
Yeah. And then Oldaball had confirmed it, and that was really, I don't know, it just felt good as a character to see those things coming together before it was, you know, force fed or like fully
into places.
Exactly. I was able to pick up that piece and see it. And leaving Lucano, so for those who don't know, my Primrose, they'd received a house as a reward for capturing the nail fairy and for helping out with the fish and the aboleth. And we'd been really smart and locked the doors to our bedrooms with enchantments so that only the person whose room it is could go in and out of it, which is great until I have my boyfriend over and we're sleeping in my bedroom, and then I wake up after having a nightmare being called from my celestial god into a portal, and I go through said portal after leaving a note because I've learned how to communicate that I will be back, and he's locked in there. So that was just a perfect moment. So he ended up locked in there, and my friends had to help him out. Hopefully he had his pants on, but
he had a towel on.
You imprisoned your own boyfriend in your room. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, what happened is we were in the bathroom together having a bath, and we did the whole movie scene sequence. So all of his clothes were scattered down the hallway, and then he was locked in the bedroom with none. So I told him I was going to get it the next morning, but my bad.
But there.
Also, now, before I ask the whole journey that Prim went through while the group, you know, was doing their own freaking civil war, what was your reaction, Emily, when I told you about Corellon being introduced into this world?
I was so excited. Again, as anybody that knows me knows that elves are my favourite race. I love playing elves. I also happen to know, obviously, the Seldarin and the Dark Seldarin very, very well. And yeah, so finding out that one of the kind of forefront gods that were coming forward, and obviously playing a part in the campaign, was the Saldarin and obviously Corellian and everybody there. I was very, very excited because I can put a lot of input in that because I know a lot. So yes, very, very, very happy.
So yeah, how was meeting Corellon?
It was a trip and a half. It was really good. It was a lot of lore, but it felt so exciting to have things coming together. It felt like the pieces of the puzzle were being laid out on the table for me again, and I really liked it. He is a very awesome character. Not like awesome dude, but like awe-inspiring. Like, wow, Primrose interacted with a god, like a deity, and I hope that her respect was translated through my RP, because I just wanted it to be like she's not gonna just be like, oh hey dude, what's up? Like, that's not Primrose. Like, she that's not her. The Trudy probably would be like, oh my god, give me a hug. But yeah.
And then when you returned, you found out that these guys are chasing this scholar because they think that scholar can help you. And then you run into and basically dropped on the head of Tesmora.
Yes. Friggin' Frozen Fist.
Friggin' Frozen Fist. And then you had this little whole fight. You went through, instead of this time fish people, you had dragon peoples, mini tiny dragon peoples. As you made your way and found a dragonborn, a blue dragonborn, and Chanina. And I remember telling Emily about this, that this is gonna be a big freaking cult. So how was your reaction when I told you that it's gonna be called Five Head of the Dragon?
Yeah, it was awesome. I didn't know that it was going to be as big as it is. So I didn't actually really clue into the fact that it was part of a larger organization until we got attacked the second time by Falak.
Falak, yeah.
Falak. I didn't really clue in until it was Falak, and they were like, you, and I was like, oh shit, like there was people there's more who backed up on this. And exactly, and that's kind of what it is it's like, often I'll play D&D where there isn't layers and you don't really have to think deeper because it just is what the storyline is, you know what I mean? It's just easy reading.
like the module we played?
Yeah, exactly.
We did like 4-part series of Sunless Citadel, and that's what we were discussing there. But yeah, Emily, what was your reaction when I told you about these dragonborns?
The dragon butts. Well, just the dragon cult in general. And again, can't go too much into it because obviously everyone doesn't know, but what they're up to is really fun. I really like it. It's called Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
What, that they're...
about Ignat's resurrection? Yeah,
about his resurrection. Yeah, loved that. And yeah, it is very much like, it's kind of, because again, they've met all 5 of them in battle, but they haven't met all 5 of them. Like, there's not been a lot of RP with all of them. Obviously, there has been with, you know, the ones that had, you know, that they've captured and
Falak, Tanina, Sertan led the fight when they got ambushed, so they stopped.
Yeah, but that's it. It's a fight. But these, I'm really looking forward to the reaction that they're going to have when, because again, now they've made this decision that best way that we're going to take all of these people down is can't do it together because that's suicide, but
they're too strong
separately. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to basically seeing the interactions between each of the Dragonborn and the party. And yeah, how they're going to go about doing this, because again, they're not all-powerful beings, very, very, very strong, and you know, their strength is to be respected, but every single one of them has a weakness, and I'm interested to see if they can be found out and if they can be exploited. But yeah, massive fan of dragons in general, especially chromatic dragons. Read up a lot on them, especially obviously when Fizz bands came out. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they're like, and the interactions between them all. But yes,
yeah,
very excited.
Also, there are 2 more things. There are 2 more things happening in this part of this chapter of the campaign. Is that first, your favorite book has been referenced so many fucking times. We are talking about Lord of the Rings, and the whole like tale is based on Shire, and then we have those 5 rings that are playing a very crucial part in the whole
massive,
MacGuffin thing. And what do you think it has done a good? set up in like.
Oh yeah, I
large-
mean anything that involves Lord of the Rings, I automatically love because I am genetically inclined to do so. But yeah, no, I like it. I like it. And I can kind of see where you're going with it.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think it's being referenced well. Because it's not like you're not just being straight up like, haha, it's Lord of the Rings. It's done in a subtle way where you've kind of made it your own.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I mean I had to because otherwise then it will be thievery.
Then you'd be playing Lord of the Rings, yeah.
But yeah. Also, I told you about the big thing about this particular chapter as well. The Great Worm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they deserve it? Like they are ready for this kind of challenge?
Mm,
What was your
not
first
yet.
reaction? What? Not yet.
Especially, they've got two new party members that again they're still going to have to learn, get along. You know, we still don't know what their abilities are as of yet. Obviously, I do. They don't. So I think before they're going to tackle what they're going to tackle, get a little bit stronger and mesh together, because the only way that they're going to be able to do this is working as a team. This can't be a, you know, I'm gonna be the big boss, I'm gonna kill everything, yada yada. It's a case of they're gonna have to think smart about it.
Also,
I think
yeah.
I totally agree with that, and I think that's why doing the little tentacle fight first would make more sense than going right for
The octopus.
The big octopus. Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna break a little bit away from it. Magic Legacy. Thanks a lot for the Prime sub. I really appreciate that a lot. And thank you for joining the chaos. We are just doing a recap today of our campaign so far. D plays Prem. Emily is our Lorekeeper. D is helping me to moderate this little discussion. Also, the whole Tanina fight that happened and how it ended exactly. At that moment, I told you that I have decided to do a few things that that are going to be very problematic for the party.
Yes.
And we are not going to talk about what happened off the table, but how much do you think that was a wise decision? Because it is a difficult thing to do, to put your party into a certified lose-lose situation. And I'm asking you from a player perspective. And then they are working together for a very certain objective.
Yeah, the thing is, you can't always expect to win. D&D isn't about winning. And sometimes being put in a situation and being there like, we aren't going to win this, we need to pull back and think about it. It can be a massive plot point.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, it has happened. All these dragons have come together, and the realization has been had that these are some insanely powerful people that
all 5 Dragon Balls.
Maybe we haven't, you know, maybe we've underpredicted what they can do.
True. At least that one character definitely did, and that's why they paid for it.
Well, yeah, well, you know, again, not even just the one character. We all decided, like, yeah, let's go and do this ambush. When actually, you know, it's a case of, yes, if it was pulled off well, you might have, you know, caused a bit of harm. But at the same time, you've gone in without really thinking about it, without really knowing what you're going to fight, and yeah, it was a situation that realistically wasn't going to be won, and there's nothing wrong either as a DM or as a player going to something, if story relevance is you are not going to win this. I can't remember which book it is. It's one of the it's going to wind me up. It's one of the source books And at the very, very beginning, there is a tower, and you can go to this tower, and there's this extremely powerful being that you can go and you can face this being early on. You will die. Like, it is an encounter that is not made for you to win there and then.
Yeah.
It is a counter for you to come back to, but it's there, you can go see it, and I've seen it where players have got, it's kind of wind me up which one it is. If anybody knows, like, there you go.
Of course.
Is it the Icewind book?
Oh,
it might be. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Icewind is not a source book though. It's an adventure book. But yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's one of the official Wizards of the Coast thing.
Okay.
Adventures, and it's there. So again, it's a good way of learning, and sometimes you do need to get your ass kicked to kind of step back and be like, because let's be fair, if you are, you're this magical being, you know, that can go off and, you know, you can shoot magical arrows and cast spells and do all these amazing things. And, you know, sometimes you just need to be humbled a little bit. There is things that are more powerful out there that can kick your ass, like, know your space kind of thing.
Exactly. How much, you know, the party has processed this thing, that we made a mistake, and somebody made more mistakes than some people made more mistakes than the others, and that has bounced on back to us, and now we have to rectify this. Has this been a notion in the party, or as you know, players and characters both?
I think so. I think there's a lot of I don't know if it's necessarily we need to rectify it. I think there's a lot of rage, revenge going on right now. Yeah. But I think it's been explained as to like what the motivations of the bad guys were, like why they killed, if that makes sense.
I mean, it wasn't clear in their RP as well.
It was.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I tried to resonate that, but if that didn't, something like, you know, not putting No. Yeah, I'm just asking for the feedback.
It was very much one of those where it's a case of, you killed one of ours, we'll kill one of yours. And you know what? This particular character has basically taken the piss and are, you know, saying things to us. So, naturally, yeah. Why would they not go for that particular person? Because it seems, again, from what I've rewatched, not being able to watch the whole thing, it seems very much it's not about, oh yeah, we're gonna kill, you know, because we can. It's about sending a message. And I think the message was very much sent. It's a case of don't fuck with us. We're a lot stronger than you think.
Yeah, because my ideology was, if these Dragonborns were the party, you know, and you guys were the bad guys, and if you had done something like, one of you had done something like this, and the rest of the party learns the what happened, then I think the party would have reacted in the same way that the bad guys reacted in the game. That yeah, this one made personal with us, so we'll go after this one. And that was the whole ideology behind that. But before all of this happened, you also had a little bit of side hustle. You guys went to Mary's farm. What's supposed to be a simple pest extermination thing almost turned into a TPK.
No such thing.
Seriously. Oh my god.
Owlbears are like not to be fucked with. They are strong.
Owlbears rolling nat 20s are not to be fucked with.
Yeah, definitely not.
Shit. Oh my god, Do you know how traumatizing that was for me? I blacked it out. I didn't even remember that it happened. I completely had forgotten about it till you reminded it. And now I'm having cold sweats. Thanks, Jay.
Oh, you're welcome.
Honestly, straight after that session, Jay would like instantly message me. As like, listen, I know you're at work, but oh my god, I've literally just rolled so many nat 20s.
Oh my
It's like,
god.
I think
what?
this whole I planned, it's just fucking dice karma or something, but I planned these 2-3 days very difficult for the party, and I was like, yes, we are doing it, and straight up rolling 20s, 19, 18, and I was like, alrighty, let's do
I
this.
love it.
Yeah, so I think when people say D&D die tells the story, it is pretty true. Even if you have planned things and die resonates, yes, this has to happen, that would be like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do that. And it happens. It's a lot about how much you believe in your story or how much you believe in your character. Is that
I would agree with that. I would agree with that
Thing is-
because. Go ahead.
Should I go on? No, it's fine.
Nope, too late. I
Okay.
already forgot.
No, I'm just saying, like, the thing is, and it's, bad rolls make D&D the game that it is. Like, it's not all about, like, being super good at everything all the time.
yeah?
Some of the funniest moments that you will get out of playing this game that will stick in your head are the times where you completely fuck up doing something. Especially if it's something you're supposed to be good at.
Exactly. I think it
It's
happened.
very true.
It happened in this campaign as well, or was it in the module? But it happened in one of the recent sessions. One of the players rolled 1, and even though it was a fail, I think no, it was me who rolled 1, and then I think I'm missing, but it wasn't this session, but somewhere else. I rolled 1, but the total was enough to hit. So the DM was like, "Yeah, go ahead, you hit." Like not this person, but that person. So one of the enemies was getting the hit. So
Funny.
I would enjoy that more than rolling nat 20s and doing shit. But yeah.
Well, here's a question. I'm going to turn it on you guys. Here's a question for both of you then, because again, it changes on every single table that you go to. You've both DM'd me at least once, so let's say somebody gets a natural 1, okay? And for, like, off the top of my head, one of the characters that I'm currently playing at the moment has a deception of plus 15. Not Selrenis, but a different character. So their deception is plus 15. Say I
Right.
got a natural 1 on my deception. That still makes it a 16,
16.
but then another character, say, got a 10. Would I fail my deception with it being a natural 1, or would my modifier affect and still put it in place? Question to both of you.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm a new DM,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the rule of cool, but also the rule of critical failure. If there's a critical success, then there's got to be a critical failure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you roll, it's a 16, but it's a 1. You could have had 20 other numbers that aren't that 1, or 19 other numbers that aren't that 1, that would have gotten you anything above a 16, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Mhm.
15 or whatever. So I would still count it as a critical fail, but that's just my thing. Or else you'd never fail ever.
Sure. I mean, there are fail safes like we are seeing with Sassy now. He has such a high deception and such a high. And when I was playing the campaign that Emily plays in, and I had a very high charisma as well, and like I had like she's talking about 15. I was around that same number as well, even higher than that, because and that I was there at lower level. So if I was still playing in that campaign, I would have been way higher. But in my opinion, it all comes down to player. First of all, as a DM, I would do that. Okay, you're telling me honestly that yes, your roll is 16, but you also rolled a nat 1. So you're, I will allow you to choose whatever you want. You want to pass it or you want to fail it. But at the same time, despite being a bard who plays a lot of bard characters, I am not very fond of this rule that making, you know, instant success, because it makes the game about numbers rather than what it is, role playing game. And I cannot go abba dabba, I charm you, and then just roll charisma roll and roll a ridiculous number, and the other person will start licking my feet. So that makes no sense in my opinion. And you have to be like, I cannot be somebody who has just killed 3 hookers, have no clothes on me, like fully covered in blood, has a knife in my hand, and when the guard comes in, I'll go, "Oh yeah, I just arrived here. I have nothing to do. I don't know what happened." And then I just rolled ridiculously. Yes, I slipped, and then I stabbed them multiple times, not with just one my weapon. But yeah, that makes no sense in my opinion.
That like just fails instantly.
Even Nat 1, Nat 2, Nat 3, Nat 4 should have
But
a
then,
place in the game.
Oh, totally. I don't think I understand fully what you're saying. So, do you not agree with critical successes and critical fails?
No. I do. I do. I don't imply them in my games for ability checks and saving throws. But at the same time, I'm saying that giving a ridiculous, like any roll under 9 would be considered a 10, and then having a modifier is just fucking ridiculous. And then because you are basically saying no matter how you're gonna role play this situation, that makes you good at it.
Invincible. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Gotcha.
I totally agree that if a player is good at role playing, then I do agree that sometimes I can allow that happening, and I will leave it to players' agency. But at the same time, if you are like a smoothie kind of a, like doing that meme that you are grabbing a smoothie when you have a velociraptor or llama or what was it? It was an ostrich. But have in, like, in your background.
A smoothie.
Yeah, that doesn't cut shit in on my table.
Fair.
So that's the idea.
Cool.
Interesting. No, it was just interesting what you thought.
Thank you. So death happens. Death in the family happens. Also, you guys found out Yashiga is a copper dragon.
Oh my god, Yashiga. I have a lot of questions for this lady, and I need her to know her intentions for my younger brother. I'm gonna sneak away and have a sisterly meeting with him.
Makes sense. This is one part of the lore I kept from you, Em.
Yes.
The
very much so.
I teased you about it. This is coming, and then it happens. Although you also kept your facial expression from me when you saw it.
I didn't have a camera.
Excuses, mooses, but you didn't let me know.
I mean, yeah.
So how was that?
I was so angry with myself. I was so annoyed. Again, I know a lot about dragons, and I'm just like, how did I not see it?
It's so obvious afterwards, right?
Like everything is like links.
Like everything makes sense. Like copper dragons themselves. Again, I won't go too much into it for you, D, because again you'll meet her. But like, and they're like, oh god, of course she's a fucking copper dragon. Of course she is because of X, Y, and Z and stuff. And then there was a time that we were on a call. I can't remember if you were there, D. I know Matt definitely was, because I was speaking to Matt. Jay was there. And I remember saying, like, how did we not fucking realise? Because in another campaign that me and Matt played together, we have, like, this little joke about how we think that one of the NPCs is secretly like a brass dragon grey worm or something.
Oh.
And we were like, yeah, he's definitely a dragon. Like, so we generally, and we joke about it all the time. And we're like, we literally joke about an NPC being a dragon all the fucking time. How did we not see it this time? Anyway, well, Jay, do you want to explain where the idea came from?
That very discussion that you guys were doing it in front of me, and I was like, okay, and I just started reading about all kind of dragons. I had read them, but this time I was reading with mission, and so of course the whole thing was that Kraken also had challenged me that I'm gonna seduce a dragon when I'm playing a bard. So I was like, okay, you're pulling you're throwing a challenge at me. How about I turn the tables on you? You're not the one who's seducing the dragon. The dragon seduces you, and so in just campaign, the dragon seduce you. So that that whole thing happened. Yashika asked him out. And there were two ideas going on here. First was that she's secretly a dragon, but there was also an idea that she's playing a bunny bard, and very much like Roger Rabbit, I have to give them a Jessica Rabbit, and Jessica becomes Yashika. Yashika becomes a tiefling because I think tieflings are the sexiest, and I throw her at him. She asked him out. First session done, and he comes to me, and because at that time he was also feeling a little guilty about the choice of banging the MILF, but he tells me that I want this person as the love interest of my character. You did a great job with it, and I was so surprised because it was hook, line, and sinker with the whole Jessica Roger Rabbit thing, and he haven't even watched freaking Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But yeah, in that opinion,
such a good film.
In that opinion, I felt accomplished that I made somebody go for a reference without knowing the reference. So that thing happened, and yeah, it's a good movie. It's an absolute watch movie, and that then I started dropping hints with Disaster appearing and getting slapped by Ashka. The whole possessiveness, the whole rushing the relationship fast forward, and being very, very interested in bards, and being very mood swings and all that stuff. And yeah, that shit.
And I never saw it because I'm dumb.
Even
you and me both.
Even the thing was that, and then JJ was coming up with these absolutely ridiculous and redonkulous theories about Yashika. And when
Yashika is the big bad evil guy, it's like, yes, JJ, she definitely is.
She could
be.
She
could be.
He had this whole, like, his whole tinfoil hat had a Yashika sticker on it. And when you guys killed Tanina, the next session after Polar session, I told JJ before the session started, I'm gonna drop a massive hint about Yashika. And this was the session what was happening, like, it is Sassy's birthday, it's midnight, right at the hour of the clock, and Yashika appears, and then she says to you, like, she sought out Sassy, pulls him close and says that I'm sweetest person on the earth for people who, value my adoration, but I spit acid who do not respect to me, and do not respect me. And yeah, I can't I'm too excited. But yeah, who do not respect me, and that was a blatant freaking clue. Acid spraying person, bard loving person, dragon. You have which dragon spits acid? Bronze. So they copper, not bronze. But yeah, so that was the biggest clue. Nobody saw it coming. I was like, yeah, my secret is safe. They will be redonkulously astonished. And I did see Kraken and Dee's mouth just spelled
I'm
out.
not very good at hiding my feelings, so I was shook.
And then it happened at the end of the session as well, when the whole
Yeah,
death in the family happened.
exactly.
I was sitting. I need to tell you, this. I was sitting with Dee for for a long time with all the players, and we were discussing what exactly happened. And um, Dee's face was just like, after 5 minutes, I had to tell Dee.
Close your mouth.
Her jaw was dropped. Like she had to
I'm
scramble for it.
looking so
on the
shocked.
floor.
I cannot.
But yeah, that was good reveal. And then it comes down to the last session where Palmo, or should I say Zilna, appeared.
Zilna.
And also you met 2 new party members. So first of all, as the Lorekeeper, what do you think of the stories of these 2 new characters?
Really like it. Again, I don't know much about Finn's backstory because we haven't really discussed it. So Finn was new to me.
Finn was pretty much the backstory that she talked about in the
said,
session.
yeah, the vision.
That's pretty much set in
That
stone
was-
at this moment.
Yeah, that was new for even me. And then Beak. Oh god, Beak's backstory. I legitimately love it. And what Val is going to be bringing to the table with that. Yeah, I really like both characters. Both are again different in their own ways, and I think will fit in very, very well.
And I think it just served on me on platter because I have to give the party a little bit of encouragement, a little more inspiration to go back and fight these people again who have just wiped the floor with them. And
yeah,
I think the insider, when Val gave me a very generic kind of a story about a dragon, a kobold who has worked for served a dragonborn and is now not feeling satisfied with the situation, want to go and find something new, something where they can find their purpose. And I was like,
it worked perfectly.
I just need
Like,
to
thank
put
you.
it over here and just put it there, and that it works. And
Here you go.
And I suggested to Val, and she's so flexible with her character ideas and all that, and it worked brilliantly. And Val started working on ideas like how the whole Fallout would have happened and everything, and commending her again that 6.5 hour session that was where the death in the family happened, and she watched all of it and then used all of that information to work in their backstory in Beaks.
Mm-hmm.
And what a fantastic character.
Very nice.
What a fantastic
And I mean, like, big kudos to them because it wasn't an easy session to come into. Coming in after a loss of any players or any characters is always extremely hard because the players that are still there and the characters that are still there are going to be mourning the death of their friend, which they were. So then to like come in and be like, oh hi, yeah, you know, I'm here. It's hard. It can be really, really hard. But they played it really, really well, and both of them were extremely endearing and easy to engage with. They're very engaging characters.
Yeah, I mean, we were feeling Lisa was a little reserved after our test session we did like on Tuesday. We did a proper test session to bring them into the party and feel like how these players will interact with other players and all that stuff. We called it a Yalmer dream. This is a dream that Yalmer is having on an uncertain night, and it is all happening in his head. So there is no canonical relevance to this particular part. This all these events, but it happened, and they had made variations to their characters on certain different degrees, but it worked out very well, and it showed up in the session as well. The whole you guys just sitting on the table and doing conversation was fantastic. Like having just a talk, the kind of stability that the group needed. And one thing more I would point out that JJ said, and I would like Dee's opinion on this as well, that Zilna or Salrenis' presence at this crucial juncture in the campaign when so much they have lost, really helped to rapidify the process of grief for the party. Do you agree, Dee?
I think not so much the process of grief, but I would say gave us something to look forward to, a distraction, something to work on next, like a reminder that there's still something that's going on and that we're doing.
Yeah. It's not all lost.
Exactly.
Well, then my work was done.
Yeah, because I asked Emily to just we had decided that she's going to she had time to join this one, and I was like, okay, so this is gonna be perfect because party will definitely be morning, and you come in and you just help them to
go fix
themselves, and I think we did a good job accomplishing that.
I try.
I think it gave organic space.
But jumping into another battle straight after that would have been too much. I think that having that downtime where it is just talking was brilliant and is what was needed.
Yeah, because me and Emily were contemplating, should we push the party towards another fight or not? But at the end of the day, we decided, it's good where they are. Let them have a breather and clarify their thoughts, and then they will be ready. Maybe, Salvin. But then you drop your real name, your character's real name.
I did.
So now you're.
I did.
I don't think Salrenis' fuckery is gonna stop even after this, would it?
Well, sorry?
Yeah, you cut off. So I was just asking.
Sorry, yeah, my internet went a bit fuzzy, so say again.
I was asking, Salrenis' fuckery is not gonna stop with the party, would it?
No. End of the day, she's still a faith. They are known for their fuckery. So again, there's a reason that they're fucking with them in a way. It's not a case of they're wanting to. They don't have a choice with it. It's not like they can just turn up and be clear cut and be like, "Here's what's going on," because bad things will happen if that's the case. So, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that matter.
Also, there is another.
That's all I'm gonna say on this matter. I've been sworn to secrecy.
There's also a matter of your decision to fuck with them in this particular session because you didn't tell me.
Yep. I realized last minute when I was like, I have no in. I have no in here. Like, I'm gonna be some random half-elf that's rocking up and being like, "Oh, hi, yeah, I'm a friend," and that's not gonna necessarily work. And then that is kind of where I came up with the idea of, Falmer, or Salrenis, obviously knows of Ulicano, knows the connection of Ulicano to the party.
I mean,
could use that.
Yeah, not gonna lie, Prim hasn't been quiet about it either.
No.
In fact, I'm pretty sure Falmer ended up having to listen to a full carriage ride of their sex escapade. So yes, Falmer was very, very well aware of this relationship. and use that to their advantage, basically. And it worked.
It worked in a sense, but yeah,
It got them sat down. It got them integrated and in the conversation, and got the party invested in what was being said. It was just when things delved deeper, it was a bit like,
I mean,
okay.
when you did that, I was like, yeah, this jig is over. We have to tell them about it because I cannot lie as Ulukano. He's a sweetest boy, and
no, he wouldn't lie.
And then I tried my best to delay the inevitable.
I noticed that.
No, like
I noticed that. And then at one point I was like, oh, hey, calling Ulukano. Oh, he was hoping I would forget.
No, I wasn't. I knew it was coming. I was just, stretching the chewing gum as much as I could. So
yeah. Oh no, I assumed it was coming at some point, and I was like, this is gonna go one of two ways. It didn't go a certain way. So the jig was up, and then it was a case of I could double down on this, and I can continue to lie about who I am, because the party doesn't know who Zilna is at that point, or we can just go and say, actually, I'm Falmo, and I am here to help.
Yeah.
And I just decided that at that stage, especially Yalma up on the table with, fucking hammer in hand, it was like, if I double down and this goes, if I double down and this goes terribly wrong, then it's gonna go terribly wrong. Exactly. Whereas, don't get me wrong, Falmo wasn't the most liked person, which they weren't meant to be. But at least they're not gonna straight up kill Falmo.
Very true.
Yeah. So at that point, it was like, okay, hi guys.
And also,
it's me.
It also kind of reassured them when they found out that Veraroth is definitely on their side and is a higher entity working in their favor. So that also added up to the whole thing about reinvigorating the party. About yes, you can do this, and that shit also worked out really, really well. Now,
agreed.
I think should we talk about Shartan before we finish this little talk? So
Shartan, the other dragon?
Yeah, the one who is the leader of the Shartan Balk is the leader of the Five-Head of the Dragon. So you know what things are going to happen at the end of this chapter. At least his part of the story. What they will do is on upon them. And
yes.
But yes, coming to his part of the story, I'm not gonna ask you, but I'm gonna ask you to reveal anything. But yeah, I'm gonna ask you, when I told you about the beyond thing, then this chapter, what you wanna tell Day about it? Like, don't reveal anything, but what was your reaction to know about how it will tie up to something else?
I would say,
you know what you're talking. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to think of how to say it without spoiling anything. Very, very interesting character. Looking forward to seeing more of them. And I would suggest to keep an open mind, is what I would say.
Ooh. That last line.
Fucking Falmo.
Fucking Falmo.
Yes, let's end it over here. thank you, D. Thank you, Emily, for joining us for a little bit of session recap. A lot of things have
Thanks for
happened.
having me.
You're always welcome. And you are going to be in the next one as well. We are talking about the Face siblings and their journey about it. So we'll have Matt, Kraken over here. Sorry, Kraken, bad habit. But yeah, we're gonna have Kraken over here. We're gonna have D over here, and we'll see how it goes. Also, before that, a lot of things will happen on Wednesday. So we'll find out how these guys will decide to take over, take their revenge from the Five-Head of the Dragon.
I know. I'm so great because I'm working, so I can't watch. So I expect a full update afterwards, Jay.
I'll update you too.
Thank you. I want updates from every motherfucker.
Yes, and if you do go ahead, this is gonna be on YouTube as well, so you can check it over there. But also, if you wanna just quickly read our whole story till now, go check it out on this link. And yes, that's all I have to say. We have a Discord. You can check out if you wanna join us. Do it there.
And Twitter.
And come check us out.
Wow, I'm getting shout out on my own channel. I have so competent moderators on my own channel.
Shout out.
And yes, please go check out our Discord. We have our timeline over there as well. A lot of references, a lot of glossary. You can also talk to players if they feel like answering you. That's on their liberty. I don't force anything. But yeah, we're gonna end it over here. Thank you, Emily, for playing with us this week and also doing the whole recap.
It's been a pleasure.
Giving people a little bit of glimpse of somebody who has the inner, knowings of the campaign.
It's hella fun.
It's hella fun. And I seriously feel so freaking validated every time Emily, gives me good pointers on the campaign ideas and how the story I want to progress the story and everything. And yes,
so validating.
I think the craziest shit.
And yeah, with that, go check out. You will get to check out D on Wednesday game again, and Thursday in D&D&Tea. Emily will show up when she will have time again. I can't promise anything. She can't promise anything. She's a fae. She's also a thing. And also, I would like to say it's quite funny that the two fake actors are the most annoyed by Falmo or Salrenis. Salrenis is mischief, because it makes sense. The fae are known to make pranks, not to be the
one
not to be the center.
Yeah, the one to be pranked. So yeah, it shows up their frustration. So
I love it.
Good fucking job on that. And yes,
I try.
Let's find somebody to raid and let's call it a night.
Yuke's live.
Euclid. Okay.
Euclid.
If you guys are like already have made your mind, let's go Euclid and raid happening. Thank you everybody for joining in. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Wednesday or maybe earlier.
Oh, whenever I'm here.
Also, did you know that Kraken knew about the dragon before you did?
He knew before I did, so there you go.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Raiding now.
Wait.
You deserve it. You deserve that shout out in your own channel for calling me by my real name. Emily, you're not excused either.
Sorry.
Yo.
So sorry, man.
I tried to not point out anything so people would be confused who they're talking about, but I guess my